Everybody, welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, for the first time, I'm going to show 10 cards from my personal collection. These cards will be a combination of Hall of Fame rookie cards, as well as low pop reports, and one item that's actually not even a card at all. So I'm going to start actually with the one item that's not a card. It's from 1902, so it's the earliest item I'm going to show today. It pictures the Pittsburgh Pirates ball club. That was the year before the first World Series, where the Pirates played the Boston Americans in 1903. So this is the Pirates from '02. Honus Wagner being the biggest star of that team. And in addition to Wagner, there's two other Hall of Famers on the '02 Pirates, which are pictured on this item. One is Fred Clark. Clark would be the player-manager of the Pirates throughout most of the 1900 to 1910 decade. And Jack Chesbro, the early part of the 1900s, was with Pittsburgh before he went to New York and played for the Highlanders, which eventually became the Yankees, and famously won 41 games, I believe was 1904, with New York. So he only spent a couple of years in Pittsburgh with the Pirates, and this is '02, which was one of his seasons there. So the item I'm going to show is like I said, it's not a card. It's a pinback button. It's roughly about an inch and a quarter. It's about 1.3 inches in diameter. Still has the pin on the back intact. Also has the paper label on the back. It was put out by a prominent pinback company from that era known as Whitehead and Hogue. Whitehead and Hogue most famously produced the baseball pins for the Cameo Pepsin pinback series, which was produced in the 1897-1898 era. They also produced a few different team composite pinbacks during the late 1890s. I know Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, a couple of other teams, Cincinnati, I believe, was in there as well. And as well as many professional baseball team and individual pinbacks, a lot of the minor league teams. Actually, Honus Wagner in 1896 to 1897 played for the Paterson, New Jersey minor league team. And Whitehead and Hogue produced a pin of that 1896 Paterson club with Wagner on it. Unfortunately, that pinback is slightly less than 1 inch in diameter, so it's extremely small. So you could imagine a team photo on a pinback that's less than an inch wide. The images are almost impossible to decipher, but you can make out, especially under magnification, you can make out Wagner in the photo there. I actually used to own one of those pinbacks, extremely rare. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to show the first item today, which is, hopefully we can get a decent picture of this. This is the 1902 Pirates team. Wagner is standing in the back row. He's the second player from the right. Not sure if it's possible to see him at all. Probably not. Jack Chesbro is standing in the back row. He's all the way on the left. And Fred Clark is the player manager sitting in the middle row directly in the center of the team photo. I apologize. The glare and the fact that it's so small makes it really difficult. PSA has it labeled 1900 to 1912 Whitehead and Hogue pennant winners. It notates Wagner is on there, and it calls it a type 13 pin. Assigns it a grade of a PSA 2, which is good. The back here, again, you're probably not going to be able to see, but it has the Whitehead and Hogue paper label on there. You can see the pin still intact. The back is kind of rusted around the edges, a lot of oxidation, as well as the paper. The paper is still 100% intact. The oxidation is mainly around the edges again. And the front has a good amount of staining, mostly on the perimeter of the pin. Not sure if you're able to see that or not. Almost looks like caramel type of staining on it. And also has one or two celluloid cracks in the pin back itself. I believe this is either a one of one or a one of two. Obviously extremely rare. And a very early Honus Wagner piece. Not much was issued of Wagner prior to 1902. And this is somewhat affordable, given the fact it's a team item and not just Wagner individually. That would make a huge difference in price. So that's item number one. The others are all going to be cards. I'm going to start with the oldest first. So there's going to be a few pre-war, a few Golden Age, and a winding down with some of the 60s lower pop report, oddball type of things. So the next one I'm going to show is a Tris Speaker rookie card. Actually, let me take it out of the plastic. That'll probably be better. So Tris Speaker rookie card. It's a Sweet Caporal back. It's 1910, dated by SGC, based on the fact that Sweet Caporal and the 350 subject stamp on the back dates this issue not just to 1909 to 1911, which is how they're cataloged, but they can be more specifically dated based on the manufacturer and the factory number where it was produced. So this qualifies as a Tris Speaker rookie. He has a couple of things that were issued in the 09 to 09 to 11 range. He's got a couple of caramel cards. He does have a M101-2 sporting news supplement, which is dated the end of 1909. So it's actually earlier, the year before this one. It's really not a card though. It's about 7.5, 8 inches by 10 inches, so it's really oversized. So really not qualifying as a rookie card because it's not a card. So popular speaker, this is a common back, Sweet Caporal. Otherwise, the rarer backs start to increase the price quite a bit more. You'll notice the centering is pretty close to 50-50 on this one all the way around. All four borders are just about equal. Got a 4 designation from SGC. And I'll show you the back. The back is actually somewhat off-center, side to side, and a little bit top to bottom. But really nice example. Tris Speaker rookie card. I should have took off the little plastic baggies on all of these before I pulled them out. But anyway, next up we have another Hall of Fame rookie card. This one is going to be Harry Heilman. This is a Collins McCarthy, which is a pretty scarce manufacturer. These are 1917. These were Felix Mendelssohn photos, and similar to the Sporting News, but these were produced a year later. There was 4 companies that provided advertising on the back of these that used the same photos. There was the Collins McCarthy, the Boston Store, the Wheel Baking, and the Standard Biscuit. The Wheel Baking Standard Biscuit being the rarest, the Collins McCarthy being the easiest to find. And when I say easiest, most of these are still populations under 10 or between 10 and 20 for the more popular Hall of Famers. And Boston Store would be rarer than the Collins McCarthy, but not as scarce as the other 2 that I mentioned. This one is a beautiful card. It's graded as authentic and measures slightly short, I believe. I don't think I ever measured it myself, but I imagine that's the only reason for the authentic designation. I'll show the back. The back is really clean, really well centered. The front is, again, almost perfectly centered. And I actually have a second one of these, which is pretty rare because there's only, I believe SGC has only graded 8 of them, so for one person to have 2 was kind of unusual. The other one I have is a 1.5, which actually makes it higher value than this one, but that one actually has a crease in it. This one has no creases, really no issues other than I'm imagining it must be slightly trimmed, at least on one of the sides. I haven't really been able to figure it out or find it. Next up, pull this one out of the plastic as well. Next up we have not a rookie, but it's Hall of Famer Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby appears here in the W590. It's a strip card set. One of the more popular strip card series because this one used actual player photographs as opposed to some of the crude line drawings that were colored in or colorized by the card manufacturer. This is actually Hornsby with St. Louis, which was his first major league team, where he played through most of the teens and then most of the 20s. This set is from 1925 to 1931. A common misconception about these is that the set was produced over a 6-year period, which is really not true. The set was produced in 25 in strips of 10, and they were horizontal, so you had the 10 cards going across this way, and you were supposed to cut them in the appropriate spots. And in order to get a number grade on the card, you had to have the borders, not only the borders showing around the photo, but you had to have enough room to show a white border around the edges of the bordered photo. If not, then the grading company will just call it authentic, which is what PSA did on this one. They gave it authentic. There wasn't enough white border showing on the 4 sides. It looks like it was probably slightly short just about all the way around except for the bottom. So Hornsby, so anyway, getting back to the issue dates. So 25 they issued these. They did not produce any more of these up until 1931 when they printed a second print run. Some of the players were the same but had changed teams, which is the case with Hornsby. So Hornsby is shown with the Chicago Cubs in the 31 W590 strip card. This again was the case with some other players. Some of the players remained the exact same team, exact same photo. So it's not possible just having the card loose and raw to be able to tell whether it was the 25 version or the 31 version. There's a very popular rookie card in this set, which is the Lou Gehrig card. Gehrig was produced only in 1925. He's never been found on one of the 1931 strips. So we don't believe that he was issued in 31, although it's possible. But he was definitely in the 25 strip. There's been strips found with all 10 cards showing players on the teams that they were on in 1925 as opposed to 31. And that Gehrig card is very, very high value, very expensive. But Hornsby, major Hall of Famer, inner circle guy, and a pretty low pop, tough card to find. I think this one is roughly about a pop of 8 maybe on the PSA report, and I'm sure SGC is probably graded probably a similar number. So nice Hornsby card there. Next up we've got a couple of Stan the Man Musial. These are rookie cards, or at least this one is a rookie card. We've got the 1948 Bowman. Again, if you look at the centering on this one, the top to bottom is probably 60-40, maybe a little better than that. But centering is pretty close to 50-50, just about all the way around. Really nice image, no creases or anything. SGC rated this one a 4. And popular Musial rookie. Musial did have 2 earlier cards that some people consider rookies, and some people consider this one his rookie card. The earlier cards are the 46, 47 Propagandist Montiel, which was produced in Cuba. So some people will knock that one off because it's an international card, not from the U.S. And then he also had cards in 1947, was in the Bond Bread series. The Bond Bread series was more of a regional issue, was not widely available all over, although it was distributed in quite a few markets. So some people consider the Bond Bread his rookie, some people like the Bowman. But Stan Musial Bowman rookie 48. Okay, next up we have another Musial. Again, this one was always considered a rookie option up until more recently when the Leaf dating became more towards the 49 issue date rather than 48. So with his 48 Bowman plus the Bond Bread and the Propagandist Montiel, this one's sort of not really a rookie, but a nice early Musial. This one's got really bold, bright colors. The centering on this one is not the greatest. The top to bottom is pretty far off. Left to right is pretty good. SGC gave this one a 2.5. And Musial, probably one of the more underrated inner circle Hall of Famers. A lot of people think his cards are still vastly undervalued and, probably not a bad investment for the future. Okay, next one we have is, this one's a horizontal card. So this is a Carl Yastrzemski rookie. Pretty familiar card. It looks like the 60 Yastrzemski rookie card. However, this one is the Venezuelan Topps Yastrzemski, which all of a sudden makes it exceedingly rare compared to the Topps version. The population on this one, the last I checked a couple of months ago, I think was 23. It's a PSA 1, very heavily worn. It definitely deserves the 1. Glad it got a number grade and not authentic, to show that there's not been any alterations or anything. Just a lot of handling and a lot of love, I guess. So with these, like I said, very scarce, and can't always be too picky with the condition when you find one. Might be a while before you have a chance to buy another one, especially if you're on a limited budget, as I usually am. So Venezuelan Topps Yastrzemski rookie. Okay, next one up we have is a 1960 Bazooka. This is Willie Mays. These Bazooka cards were cut from a Bazooka bubblegum box. They were produced from 59 through 71, so about a 12-year period, primarily during the 60s. This 1960 is a very early one. This is Mays' second Bazooka card with the San Francisco Giants at this point. The Bazookas were printed, 3 of them on the back of each box of bubblegum, side by side, horizontally. And you had to cut them. There was black dashed black lines there, and you're supposed to cut them out on the dotted line, dashed line. And the line has to show on all 4 borders of the card to get a numerical grade from the grading company. If the borders do not show on all 4 sides, they'll give it an authentic minimum size not met, which is what this one got. Quite common to get authentic grades on these. The numerical grades go for a little more of a premium, but this one's a real nice looking card. No writing, no creasing. Just doesn't have the borders quite all the way around. So nice Willie Mays 60 Bazooka. Not a ton of these out there. Next up, we have a same set, 1960 bazooka. We've got Hank Aaron. Aaron again is cut. You can see the borders on three sides on this one. The right hand side is very thin, so that's where the border was not wide enough. This one also got an authentic minimum size not met because the measurement won't meet the requirements because of that one thin border on the right side. So another popular Hank Aaron second year bazooka, 1960. And now we are on our last PC card I'm going to show today. This is another one that looks pretty common, but actually is not. We've got a 65 Joe Morgan rookie with Sonny Jackson. These are the Houston Colt 45s before they became the Astros. And looks like the Topps card, which is not super special. There's lots of these out there. However, this one is the O-Pee-Chee version, which is the Topps card printed in Canada. Makes these much harder to come by. And a four grade on an O-Pee-Chee like this is a pretty decent grade. There are higher, but a very desirable Joe Morgan rookie. The O-Pee-Chee brings it to another level than just a Joe Morgan Topps rookie card. And I actually have a second one. I think the other one I have is a, excuse me, it's a SGC3. So I just pulled out the nicer, a little bit higher grade one. So that's going to wrap up my episode for today. Took a little break from the top 10 early cards of the Hall of Famers. Just thought I'd show some PC cards for the first time. Let me know in the comments if you like that. We can do that again another time. Unfortunately, a lot of my stuff is safe deposit boxes, like a lot of people, so I would need to, get them and bring it home and do the filming and then return. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the cards, maybe learned something. Hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.